Topic Podcast. I am Stutter McFly with these three guys,
It
two
will
guys.
be four. It
Two
will
in the
be
possible.
four.
Two in the
Yeah.
possible, niggas. It's a bad space here.
You know, Cali traffic.
We
This
got
is Bosky Hot, young Bosky Hot.
Nigga, that ain't it.
it wasn't that
Boss
Was,
bad.
is
is it
cold.
because the naps? It's the naps. I get it. Kevin Wendell.
It's your boy Mo Lethal.
And
Mr.
Geek 40.
Mr. 40 is in traffic. He will join us shortly, hopefully. Welcome to California, where shit never goes as planned.
Yeah, we
So,
do by not by mileage, by time.
so how was everyone's week?
I'm gonna talk about it. Sucks. They had me working. Oh,
You back on the farm, huh?
I went back to. I was like, who made this schedule? Whoever made this schedule ain't shit. You ain't shit.
When I get back, I'm fucking everybody. That's it?
Yeah,
Was
working
it,
close, man. I saw the babies for like what, an hour throughout the whole week. So that shit sucks.
That's tough.
Yeah, but I'm done with the closing shift.
That reminds me of
tough.
my first couple of weeks on in feeder.
Just
getting
pushing.
Home, yeah, like leaving home at 7. She sleep. Getting home at like 10:30. She sleep.
Yeah,
that's kind of rough. Yeah. My week was all right. It was pretty good. It was relaxing. Thanks to the job. Shout outs to the job.
I bet it was.
Shout outs to the job
for
having me a relaxing week.
Yeah, I bet it was. It was. I bet it was very relaxing.
Why you say that?
Were you off? Were you off?
Yes, I was. Yes.
Oh.
I don't know if you saw it, but I recently posted on Facebook that it said a meme that says my job told me to have a good day, so I went home.
I did see that.
Yeah, so
I was driving into work laughing. I was like, I should turn around.
He went home for the rest of the week.
I went home.
You didn't say how long. You just said a good day. So I had all of them.
I turned a good day into a good week. I went home.
Very nice.
So other than that, it's been relaxing. And made up for a lot of father-daughter time this week. She is excited. Man, she's at that age where she says your name 30,000 times a day. And
right, okay.
I love her, but she's torturing me. And she's spoiled. So we wrapped the Christmas gift today. I don't know why. I just wanted to get this over with. And she's been, every 5 minutes, Dad, is the time? No, baby, you have 23 days. It's not time. You got 23 days. So
damn, she got a tree? I don't got a tree.
Oh. Well, like I said, I had time this week.
Do you go real tree or artificial?
We go real tree. But this will be the last year. Because these tree prices
going up, right?
I'm not gonna tell you what I paid, bro.
I'd probably have it. What size? Let me ask. What size?
12-footer.
Oh shit! Damn, you flexing. Do it. Damn.
12-footer. Real.
Damn.
With the base.
Like in the movie trees. Damn.
With the base.
Nah, I can't even guess that because I go 8. Damn, it went 12. Nice. Douglas fir?
What is it? 12 or 11? It's 12 or 11. It's just tall. It's about 11. It's about 11. Yeah. Study you?
Douglas?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. She picked it. She said my daughter picked it out. She said, "Daddy, I want this one." I couldn't sell it though.
I feel you.
Played me.
Yeah, Mr. Stutter. What's up, man? You look tired as I feel.
I went to work.
Oh,
how was that for you, sir?
Even when they decided to shit on their fleet, I went to work, and my left leg is dying right now. So, I took off today because I'm exhausted. I couldn't push it anymore, but I went to work. But left leg is really on fire right now. Can't stress that enough.
Is that it? Is that it? Nothing else? Nothing.
Almost bought a car.
Oh, baller!
Where'd you go? Where you looking?
I went for an oil change, and they tried to have me come out with a whole new fucking car.
Why change the oil when you can just change keys?
This is true. and
You
it
got
was
a
very
new
tempting
car?
because it was the top trim shit, and they told me to take a test drive without anyone with me. They just said, "Go ahead and ride around the city of Paris by yourself."
He said
And
they
if
said no.
anybody knows the city of Paris, I could get robbed on sight. So for the fact that they said, "Go ahead and go by yourself,"
This ain't
shit could have went south really quick.
Paris, France.
This ain't Paris, France. Paris, Cali, Paris,
It's- it's-
CA. Shit.
Where the
Um,
water's clean in the lake. Hey, you want to know
Okay.
something funny about Paris? You know the 2028 Olympics coming to LA? They're going to be doing the rowing competitions at Lake Paris.
The half-mile stretch.
I'm not making this up. You could go look it up. It's on the Olympic website. I was like, they're going to Paris, California? Oh, people are
that's
going to
gonna.
be mad when they
You know
find
how
out how
much
far that
traffic
is.
that's gonna be.
They're like,
You know
this
how
ain't
much
nowhere
traffic.
near LA.
You know how much traffic that's gonna be for us.
At the
I
60
don't care
too,
about that.
in the
I
Badlands.
don't get paid by the hour.
You
Traffic is
say
a
that
blessing.
till you driving that stick
Yeah.
shift.
Right.
Oh
Yeah,
my
you're right.
God.
You're right.
Yeah,
Be
but
cussing
that's
everybody
people are
out.
gonna be so mad because they're like, this is 2 hours away from LA. You guys at the LA Olympics.
Especially if they like stay up north of LA for the Olympics, and then they gotta realize they gotta go this far south. They're gonna be mad. Like imagine like standing in Ventura because you're thinking you're gonna be right here, and then you got to drive from Ventura to Paris to compete.
That's probably why they're fixing that freeway. I didn't even think about that.
Which
They're
one?
opening that freeway up a lot. Where I'm like, oh,
Which one? The two?
the 60 going through the Badlands. They're putting a straight truck lane in there. Like they don't have a truck lane in there. They're making a whole nother lane for
It
it.
don't matter if they put a truck lane in there or not. Trucks some of these motherfuckers drive whatever lane they want to drive in.
Well, I think it's
I'll
going
say,
to be like off the same road. It won't be on the same. Like they're going to have to go like the diversion road,
it's gonna
like
be a
that.
bypass, like a bypass.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So I guess we'll start
The nitty gritty.
the nitty gritty, the festivities, shall we? So in Tucson, Arizona, there was a fatal shooting of a man in a wheelchair by an officer named Remington. I'm gonna just say his last name, Remington.
That
Kevin,
sounds
you can
about
go
right.
ahead and go into the details, but this it was a fatal shooting of Richard Lee
Uh,
Richards.
well, from what I got is Richard Lee Richards was a wheelchair bound man,
Mhm.
and he was wielding a knife, and the police told him to stop, and he did not. He brandished the knife and just kept rolling away. And what was he was going into Lowe's or was it Walmart?
Walmart.
Walmart.
He was going into Walmart, and they shot him in the back. Was it 6 times? I believe it's 4 or 6.
No, 8 times.
8.
8.
Oh, even more.
And then one more time once he was on the ground. He was shot
And
9 times.
handcuffed him.
Yes.
I know that's standard procedure, but that procedure should stop. As of now, it looks like Remington is looking at being terminated,
He's been fired.
and they are under review. So I don't know if that means any more action is coming, which it should be murder, not involuntary manslaughter, but murder. And we shall see where that goes. Like I'm pretty surprised that. Well, I'm not surprised that he's fired already then, because that video showed a lot. That video should change everything. Like they should change a lot of training just from that. But yeah, I don't know. Your guys' thoughts on that?
My initial thought is he wasn't following training. There was nothing about that situation that strikes danger.
No.
You shoot a man in a wheelchair. Yes, he has a knife. Yes, he was not obeying your orders by not going in the store. But yet and still he's in a wheelchair. Going the opposite, going from you with his back from you. There's no reason to shoot. You're like, at that point your life is not in danger. No one's life was in danger because where you shot him, there was nobody around to shoot because you wouldn't have shot had there been anybody past him.
So can I ask you this? Because you say it's not training, but he wasn't the only officer with a gun out. He may have been the only one to shoot, But was that really a reason to have your gun out?
Yes, because the guy had a weapon.
A knife in that wheelchair that
A
you
knife
could
is a
walk
weapon. A
behind?
knife.
I understand,
I
but
get that,
let me tell
but
you something. I could walk around the wheelchair and flip it over. I know that sounds awful, but you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. But standard training is the wheelchair makes everything complicated. But if I have a knife, you have a gun. If I'm skilled, trained, which most people are
Hmm.
nowadays, a knife is just as deadly as a gun because I can move. And the time it takes me to
I
move, and
understand that.
time it takes for your brain to comprehend that, hey, this is danger, I can make a move
Not
to where you can't fire
not
the
in
gun.
this scenario. This
In
is a
this
different
okay,
scenario.
in this scenario, not. But like I said, having the guns drawn because of the knife
That's tough for me.
is justified. The shooting is
That's
not.
tough for me, man, because discretion, where does that come from? There's no discretion then. You're just a robot. Like you're trained to be like, well, there's a knife, pull the gun out. You're like, nobody went, hey, he's in a wheelchair. Like you
And I
guys, we can't subdue him.
and I personally believe that they could have subdued him without without weapons being drawn. Like you said, they could have flipped the wheelchair over. They could have, especially with and honestly, he was going away from them. He literally could have
Yeah,
just walked up to the wheelchair, grabbed it, yanked him fucking backwards,
yeah.
and tipped him over, and then got on top of him before he could wield the knife. It could have been handled so many different ways. I don't. I think the guy was just trigger happy. I think some of these people just really want to shoot people because I don't understand this type of decision making. I assume that police officers go through stress tests because I don't even see that being a major stressful situation
No.
because your life wasn't in intimate danger. You're at I personally believe he was in more danger with somebody coming through the parking lot in the car than that guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah. Like I saw the video and I was like, it's not like the cop was sprinting behind him. They were like walking behind him. I was like, you stalked him. So you needed a gun for that? Like,
He had
there's a
every
on and
opportunity.
off switch. You could go find that. He can't reach it. I know this sounds fucked up to say it that way, but that's the truth.
He had every opportunity to handle this peacefully with no one being killed.
I don't get it. I don't get it. There's something wrong on that to me, where it's like,
And it's
if
just
this is
fat.
the training, you make this person a robot, and this person followed your protocol, which is insane.
Your take, Sutter?
Detta, yeah. I know it's a tough one. I know it's a tough one for you.
I try not to get my brain in to try to break down things that can trigger me, but I do know from what I've read on the situation because I won't watch the video. Um, it's evident that there's something going on in this country that has to do with poor training, poor decisions of who we decide to make police officers. Um, because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are supposed to protect the public, and obviously, there's something that's not computing in the process of actually making these people law enforcement. And it's becoming more and more evident as time goes on, especially with now having social things like social media and people having cameras and everything like that, that we get to see it immediately. It just troubles me that we constantly keep seeing this and we have to have these conversations. Um, as you both pointed out, the man's in a wheelchair. He was his back was to the officer, and this still happened. Um, I just don't get why it's even a thing that we have to have the conversation, and it pisses me off to think
Yeah.
about. So
This may be one that changes things. Unfortunately, somebody is dead because of it. But this may actually be one where it's like, yo, and it's unfortunate that it came to this because there's so many other cases with what was the young kid's name? Was it Tamir Rice? Like, come on, that's a child.
Let me tell you
Like
something.
that's insane to me.
This changes nothing.
You don't think so?
This changes nothing. How much has changed? How much has changed
Well,
in the
yeah,
last 200
because
years? How
Tucson
much?
has done this before too.
How much has changed? This changes
That
nothing.
sucks.
This changes nothing. It's clear. It's clear in this country that certain things put higher value on your life, and it's clear that certain programming has been taken on the fold to make certain people look a certain way, and that certain people uh, buy into and believe stereotypes, regardless of age, regardless of the situation, and people are in positions of power who go through life with unbiased opinions on people, and that will never change. That's why this will never. This is why this won't trigger anything. This won't make recruitment processes more difficult. This won't make any type of extra training. This they're gonna say, oh, this is on the other end of
It's
the
an
spectrum.
outlier case, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're gonna say. But it's clear because it happens all the time. And the only difference between now and 2020 and in 1951 or 1960 is that now we have cameras everywhere. Has it
Yeah.
gotten better? Yeah, it's gotten a little better, but it ain't gonna change. That's clear.
Yeah.
And that's the depressing part. Because we can go
It's,
down and list names for hours of
yeah.
people who were unjustly killed, regardless whether or not they were at fault or are innocent. We can list names of people who are unjustly killed, all because of one person's panic, stress, and unpreparedness to handle a situation. To be in a situation where your position dictates whether or not someone else lives, you need to have a better state of mind. You need to
Yeah.
have better control under pressure.
There's too much
And
discretion, like too. Yeah. There's too much, not discretion. What's the word I'm looking for?
Disparity.
They have,
we
yeah,
just
it's too much power, like you said. Like
yeah.
anything they, like the fact that a law, anything that is said to you from an officer is considered a lawful order is insane to me. Like it is insane. Like if that officer says, "Hey, I need you to jump out of your car and run through traffic," and I don't do it, I literally went against a lawful order. People are going to tell me, "Oh no, that's not how this works." But if you can manipulate it to be the way you want it to be, then why is that not true? Like
Yeah.
because it's manipulated all the time. Like and it's insane. Like how do we? I don't know if we can switch that without
And like I told
starting
people,
over with
like
it.
there's all these YouTube videos and TikToks and Instagram posts, all that shit of saying, "Oh, this is what you gotta do when you encounter police. You gotta okay." That's all fine and dandy.
That's the wrong
You
one.
don't think on the flip side they've been trained, and it's just like Stutter knows. It's just like at our job. It's certain keywords and key phrases that they're looking for, and once the cop hears that, just like once the manager hears that, got you. And they're gonna do whatever they can to try to get you to say these phrases so that then their actions are justified. And a lot of times, you know, me personally being a black man, I don't even want to deal with them. I can be 100% in the right. I don't want to deal with you because I could literally just be I could literally just fit the description. And now here I am just trying to go about my peaceful day. I haven't done anything, haven't bothered anyone. But now, because of who I am, I'm a potential suspect. So it's like we see it all the time in this country. Different people handle the police differently. And that within itself, the fact that that can be a running joke within itself underline shows you that there's a problem. And for one, I also think it goes back to biases and people buying into stereotypes. That's my personal opinion.
With just like policing itself, like what police do.
What it's not necessarily the policing, it's the humanity part of the policing. Because every police officer or policewoman is a human. So when you have the
Yes.
humans with humanity and personal emotions and personal insight, personal beliefs, all that, that's where the problem comes. Because when you as a police force, as a protection agency, as a law enforcement agency, you're supposed to be non-biased across the board. But people as a whole, it's hard for you to take your
Yeah.
bias out of a situation. And in a job like that, there really should be no biases. That's why
Yeah.
I'm a fond believer that you should live where you police.
I 100% believe that. That's one thing
You
I
should live
think
where
would
you
change
police.
so much. You would think twice how you treat somebody.
Yeah,
Like I'm probably gonna see
because
this fool at the grocery store.
yeah, because if you shoot Johnny on Tuesday, well, you're gonna shoot Johnny's uncle on Wednesday when you're trying to get something to eat at Chipotle. And now it's a different conversation.
Yeah.
And now it's not only that. It's not only the repercussion of what could happen. It's also the fact that now I live in this community where I police. Now I have a relationship with the community. I know these people. I know who's about what and who does what. I have a sense of it. That's why a lot of times when you have police officers that patrol certain neighborhoods for a long time, they become a rapport. And just like the one officer, I forgot, I think he was down in Atlanta, who plays basketball with the kids, they're gonna know that guy their whole life. Oh, that's Officer so and so. He cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at the same time, now he can say something to them. Hey, man, I know you better than this. You know better than this. Right? I'm saying
Yeah.
because now
They
he has
might
that
even tell
rapport.
him stuff without feeling bad.
Right? Because now they have that rapport. But when you live out in, I don't know, fucking Rancho, let's say Rancho, and now you're coming out here to Paris to police, you're not invested in what happens in Paris because your tax money's not there. Your kids are not in this neighborhood. You're not invested in the overall good. You're just trying to do a job. But when you police where you work, or when you live where you police, you're invested in that community. So that within itself is a different state of mind.
But that's why I don't call police cops. And that sounds weird. I try not to call them cops because once I learned what cop was, I was like, oh, because it's an acronym. It's literally an acronym. It's what is it? Community oriented policing. And I was like, oh,
Oh
they
yeah,
don't do
yeah.
that. They don't do that.
Hmm.
Some of them do. I do give that, and I don't want to say all cops are like that. Well, cops that are cops. They show up in the neighborhoods. They talk to people. They play basketball. They do certain things. They get to know the people. Those are cops. The rest of those fools are just part of a machine, man. It's almost like military. It's almost like military. Well, not almost. It is.
Similar chain of command. So yeah.
So would you say that in this sequence, I guess the perfect segue, the racial disparity in this country, as far as how you said, it's a mind frame. So a lot of times, and the bias plays into the whole being guilty until proven innocent in a lot of cases. So
Most
like
definitely.
Well,
they already
um,
look at us as guilty as they
Most
approach us.
definitely.
I'll tell you one thing too. It's think about it like this, and it seems this goes way back to redlining and everything. So you put people in a certain area, right? Give them the worst of the worst, and then you're like, I know how they're going to react to this. So you know how people are going to react to being in a desperate situation, and then you have a heavy police presence there, right? So it's almost, I don't know, I guess it is designed. When you have people living a certain life, they may not think a certain way, but you put them in a position where it's like, all right, when you start out in the worst of the neighborhoods, right?
Hmm.
That's where they put them in the worst beats. So they're going to see people in a certain light. They may not have started out that way, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
it's as you said, it's designed to be that way. Like,
My man, Stutter's boy said it best. It's called the projects because it's exactly that. It's a project. It's an experiment that has
oh
been
yeah,
perfected.
I had a
It's the
joke
crab in
like
the
that, but it
it's
wasn't
the
as funny.
crabs in the barrel.
It was funny.
It's the crabs in the
Oh
barrel.
yeah, Jay said it best.
You know,
Why?
you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
why are the crabs in the bucket?
You overpopulate a small area. You divide them up. You limit opportunities for growth, for advancement. You give them the bare minimums in life. Criminal activity will form. You over police. You now turn that into profit, new age slavery, by sending them to prison. Now you got free labor. It's slavery redefined.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think it's a much deeper blanket than just the policing. Like the policing is another layer towards like you said the
The
crabs in
the
the barrel thing.
the policing is a step in the experiment.
Yeah, it's a dominance thing almost.
It's part of the process.
And like we said in the conversation we had in
In certain places.
the meeting that we had on Wednesday, where it almost, it ain't almost, it is, anytime that we're in the light of the media or news, when there's a shooting or any kind of situation that happens in the news, they make it a point that I think I feel that wholeheartedly that we as color people of color tend to have to be seen as something worse to justify a bad situation. So like with the George Floyd, uh,
He's on fentanyl.
yeah,
So who
he's
gives a
doing it,
shit?
but they're trying to downgrade the fact that this cop stood on his neck for 8.5 minutes
He's not a
for
cop.
no reason. Yeah, not a cop. Sorry, police. For 8.5 minutes with other people filming, other cops watching, and him crying for his mother, knowing he was gonna die. And we try to play it as they try to play in the media as he wasn't all innocent, he wasn't all this, he wasn't all that. You know, he had some dirt on him. He's not just gonna get off scot free. We're not just gonna make it seem as if this man was innocent. And the same thing could be said about um, Trayvon Martin. They tried to play the same issue with him, and this is a ongoing thing where in our culture we have to constantly see in the media where anytime we're done wrong, they try to give the other side the benefit of the doubt. Where any other situation, when it's someone who may be of what do you call it from what Mount what
The Caucasus Mountain.
The Caucasus
Caucus,
Mountains. Yeah, the
they
Caucasus.
give them the wait a minute, maybe it's mental health played an issue or maybe something, but if it's us, it's he was a thug. He smoked weed. He did this. He did that. He's not all innocent. We can't just paint him to be the victim here. They try to find some angle to make us look corrupted in
Sometimes
some
that
way.
shit don't even matter. Like Tamir Rice is the
It,
perfect example. They
it,
tried to use that. Like he didn't have an orange tip, and then everybody saw, and they're like, "That is a child," and it
yeah,
still didn't matter.
yeah.
Guess what? That guy is still an officer.
But at the end of the day,
He's
I
still an
think it,
officer.
it proves his point in the project
No,
because
I get what you're saying, but I'm saying like
yeah,
it don't even matter. You could look innocent, and they could make you. We could be the most innocent person, and they'll still be like,
yeah, and I think that's the point. It's just another point of the process of the project. Like it's
It's like this.
no
This is
matter
something.
what.
Like this is something that can be talked about for hours.
"Yeah,
The system has been in place, and if you, I personally believe, you know, someone sat around after the emancipation and said, well, hey, we got to get this labor for free somehow, and they have defined this shit to its core. The way that if you want to know what America thinks about black people, look how black people are portrayed on television. I'm not talking about on Black Channel. I'm not talking about on stations black people listen to. I'm talking about look at all the popular black shows, your Love and Hip Hops, your Housewives, your shit like that. 9 times out of 10, we're not displayed in the best of light. It's like they almost always show the worst of our culture and not never highlight the good.
well,
While
that to
while while
me, yeah,
piggybacking off of our culture for profit. Yeah, he
that's
did that shit. It's
that's
cool.
partially our fault though too, because we keep
Yeah.
watching that shit. It's like somebody said it so well. They were like, "We said all this shit about Gucci, and whenever you go to Gucci, there's a line full of us."
hmm
It's like you
I'm
were
not there.
so mad at Gucci, and you still piling up
Yeah.
to buy their stuff when you know they don't even care. The boss's move was like, I love when Jay Z did that with Ace of Spade, or not Ace of Spade, Chris Starr. Like, okay, cool, watch. like, like that's we got to do something together as a whole. But like you said, I think the system works how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
No, they have documented it. If you ever read the Willie Lynch speech and what its purpose was
Yeah, yeah.
for us to be bred with the strongest alpha male, with the strongest female, to breed the strongest slave. So it's like it's documented that what we were put here to do and what their process was when we were brought here. and what they wanted to keep us as such. And now you just see it constantly, and like it's evident that there's a disadvantage in it. It's always laughable and angering at the same fucking time when you talk to someone and they say there's no such thing as white privilege. There's not this, there's not this, and you're like, come on now, like
No, don't.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm like, if you don't, whatever, I'm not gonna be the guy to teach you. I know people who get mad about that, and they're like, you should, and I'm like, this guy's 45. If we're having that, then he's 45. He's not gonna change. Hopefully, maybe he does, maybe he does, and I shouldn't say that because I've met people who have changed their way of thinking, but it wasn't from that.
Well, that goes back to the whole controlled environment. The project is just not on people of color. Project's also on poor whites.
Yeah, poor whites.
Poor whites. The whites Dave Chappelle talk about.
Well, you
That's
know what's
they.
funny is some of them think they're not poor.
yeah,
Yeah, I know that.
those are the ones that yeah.
Yeah.
I was. Oh, I'm gonna say this. I was at work and we were closed, and they were going to clean one of the rides. Right, they were going to pressure wash the ground. So I went over to raise the ride up in the air, and I see two people there standing at the gate, and I was like, "Oh, don't trip! I'm gonna raise it right now," because I thought they were the maintenance crew to did the whatever the custodial crew. And the guy was like, "Oh no, we're not here for that. This gentleman lost his glasses." And I was like, "We've been closed for an hour. Why did you bring him back? First of all, I want to go home. I don't care about this guy's glasses. Second, I should have said, but I didn't. When they started looking for his glasses, he says this: I live with all the regular people, and we can't grow trees up there. Like they told me about trees. Like if the trees are too close, they won't grow. But down there in the, where the lower class people are a little bit, their trees are flourishing." And like that's all I listened to from that conversation. I was like, did that man just say that? And think I'm gonna actually look that hard for your glasses? Like you look at people differently. Like you don't even look at people in the same light. Like their trees shouldn't grow as bright because they're lower class than me. And I'm like, considering where you're not as high class as you think you are.
Right. Right.
There's a difference in our parks, and I'm not bashing my park, but everybody knows there's a difference. But he honestly thought he was in a different class bracket because of where he lived, and I could bet you that the people that lived in that lower class area were of a certain race. And it doesn't mean black. It could be Mexican. We live in California, so it wasn't predominantly white, and it was weird. It's weird to see that. I hadn't seen or heard that it's something like been close to that in like a while, because I guess I try to distance myself as much. But that was insane that he honestly said that to somebody he didn't know.
That's boat privilege. He's been slinging that for a while.
Yeah.
Slinging it for a while.
Yeah, the guy was the security guard. He was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, you can't really say much. You can't. But I was like, he gave the right reaction. He didn't go, yeah, I can't believe they got trees. I would have been like, oh no. But you know what I'm saying? Like that goes to what you were saying about the privilege.
That's his mentality. That's his mentality.
And like the statements people make are proof of their privilege without even realizing it. They don't realize they're saying it, but it's proof of the privilege because they're so used to it. It's embedded, and they get to live it every day. And when we say it, it's the fact that we address it or point it out angers them because it's something that they never had been dealt. What are you telling me? I've had an advantage over you this entire time. Yeah, like
I don't even do. Oh. Well, before I do this, I'm gonna say hello, Keith, geek. How are you?
Mr. 40.
Oh, I'm just chilling here in the metaverse.
Oh, damn.
Well, we'll get to you on this because this is a funny thing that I got to somebody with some privilege. So there was a meme circulating, right, about the Great Depression, and it had a white family sitting there dirty, like with no money, and they were like, this is white privilege, and I was like, somebody showed me that, and he was trying to like be like, see, this is we had it too, and I was like, yeah, but you got to think about y'all got that picture. What about them niggas in the field? He was just like, yeah, okay. Let me put this meme away. It's like, yeah,
right.
you didn't even like think that far. While y'all was broke, what do you think they were doing? Like, come on, man, don't be dumb.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how blind we are to it. Some people, and I. Or is it
Yeah.
willful? You think? Some
In some
people, I think,
cases.
yeah, I think some people gotta be willful.
I think it's yeah. In some cases, yeah. Some cases, yeah.
Because
I think it's more mindful than willful sometimes. I
yeah,
think a lot of them they're mindful of their situation. That's why you have your so-called Karens, you
yeah,
know, and they use that shit to their advantage.
I'm not going to jail. Well, now they're starting to.
Yes, yes, they
They're
are.
starting to. Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, like I said, this is something. There's so many layers to this onion. I mean, you can unpack this for weeks.
Well, yeah, yeah. Um, should well, let's be. Can we speak to you, Keith, before we talk to another thing? Because I think this is a heavy episode.
When
How was
give us
work?
give us an update on your week, Mr. 40.
Hmm. Um. Let's see.
Oh,
I
you was
can't find my
partying?
feet.
Ooh,
Can't feel your feet.
I don't think I have a back anymore. So,
It's okay, Lieutenant Dan. I'm gonna get you out.
right. I
that's
mean,
insensitive.
it our peak season seemed to have started later than everybody else.
Mhm.
Ours started mid-November, while everybody else usually starts September, maybe sooner. Uh, and starts winding down towards New Year's. We're just picking up, so it's a lot of work with no employees to do it. A lot of mismanagement of who's supposed to come in, what days. Managers leaving 8 hours in their shift while everybody else is staying 10,
Oh,
12. Uh, trying to manage from home,
it's in that
which is
privilege.
always hilarious. One of the managers tried to claim, "Oh, well, I'm going home early because I have a family,"
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
no one
Yeah.
else spoke up.
You
But
about
Damn,
to
that's
trigger.
crazy.
You about to trigger status, Keith.
Did
I
somebody
dead
say
ass was
that?
like,
Fucking
I dead
package,
ass was
man.
like, so there's about, I don't know, 15, 16 people or more that have
Yeah,
Families? Yeah.
people at home.
It's not a
yeah. We all got
supervisory thing.
we all
Right.
got families,
These,
man.
these. Ooh, if I was at a warehouse, nigga, shit.
That's why
They
I'm
get
happy.
they get so
I
fucking fuck.
so this is
You
how the
about to
week is going. I don't know if I'm gonna actually make it to New Year's because the things that have been
Damn.
going on, I have been very,
Just fuck
very
them up.
vocal about.
Oh, you think they're gonna get
And
rid of you?
yeah,
No, you're gonna be a manager
I've
soon.
already heard rumors that I may be a problem.
No,
So
don't
don't
feel
listen to
bad.
those kids.
I'm a
Those
problem.
people are jealous. Those people are
Hey,
jealous because you're about to be a supervisor.
But you got a union backing you, Maurice.
they call
You
me a
can be a
problem
problem
every
all you
day.
want.
right,
You
They
got
call
a
me a
union
problem every
backing
day.
you.
Oh my god, get this guy out of here. He's a problem.
You know
But you
what I
deal
learned?
with.
Being short-staffed helps too. Like
yeah,
we would fire him, but
yeah. That's probably the only thing that's
Or
saving me right now.
or you could just be like me and be like, you know what? I work till Tuesday. I'm good. I'll see y'all on
Again,
Monday.
I say, Maurice, you have a backing of a union and FMLA. They
Oh, that's
can't
right.
touch you.
yeah, we went up to. I think I told him, what was it
I-
today? Because I need the 16th short. It's fun. That's the short staff thing. Like I was like, hey, I need to leave early on the 16th. Either you guys schedule me early, you let me leave early, or I'm gonna call off. Like, well, I can't. You can't tell me you're gonna call off. It's like, Well, then schedule me early. These are the options we have.
Yeah, fucking warehouse supervisors.
Somebody
Yeah.
told you that for real?
I've
Yes.
Well,
heard it
you just
before.
said it, Keith.
I can
Yeah.
believe it. I can believe it. I've heard it before.
Family.
Yeah.
So last weekend, they decided to schedule a skeleton crew.
Did you go?
I was scheduled for
Oh,
both
you
days, and
scheduled. It's well
yeah,
told.
we had enough work for 2 average days for both days,
So you
and
needed more than a
they don't
skeleton
tell
crew.
us that we need to stay for overtime until 30 minutes before we get out.
I clock out. I'm clocking out. See ya.
I got something to do.
Peace. You guys know what the labor laws are? Good luck.
Right.
You could just start coughing uncontrollably.
Yeah,
And
right.
mind you, there was no managers in the building.
Oh,
No managers in the building. Only
Hold on.
Oh yeah, I would have been clocked out.
Hold on. So there's no managers in the building. So who told you had to stay?
the manager from, like I said, they're managing from home.
Ah,
They told us from home.
I would have had a party in that motherfucker, and
Hey, I would have said, well, go ahead and set the alarm from home, pimp. Because I'm gone.
have a party in that motherfucker. Said, "You guys figure this shit out. I quit."
Like, I'm finally getting some of the stuff I've been told over the years, where like you compare mom and pop businesses to large corporations, right? And they're saying there's pros and cons to both. Usually there's a little more cons to the corporate side, but I'm really starting to see a lot of the cons for maybe not all small business, but definitely this one, where I'm starting to see why they haven't grown in a couple years. And that's just based off of my experience from other companies I've worked for and seeing how they run things. I'm just like, I don't know if y'all gonna be around in the next like 2-3 years, because I know I won't, but I don't know if y'all gonna be here either. So that's how the week has gone, and it starts all over again tomorrow.
you missed it, but the only person who had the look at the pep in his sit is Mo. We all look like we've worked.
long story short, Mr. Fordia, I've been relaxing since Tuesday night.
He said, "I'm not going to work."
Yeah, I clocked out Tuesday. And said, yeah, I'm done for the week.
You know how I know it was a different change in energy there is on Thursday when they saw my ass walk in, they looked shocked.
Did they?
Trevor looked shocked. Should I say fuck it? I said his name. He looked shocked. He looked at me and said, "This nigga's at work." Yes, I'm here. I know you didn't expect me to be here, but I'm here.
It's gonna be
that
a
was
bad.
Monday. That was Monday for me, because Sunday, I was so ready to just. I was literally at the computer ready to just clock out and not come back.
He's gonna do like Nee. 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 Nee did the best quit ever in the world. He worked at a grocery store. I won't say the name, but he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna take a smoke break." He's like, "I walked straight to my car and just drove over."
I could definitely see me doing that.
The cashier looked up, was like, "Is he getting this car?"
You might have to have a guest star for an episode.
He lives down the street.
You'll get a kick out of him, Mo.
He is my man.
He's entertaining.
He is 100% unapologetically himself, and I love it.
I like people like that. I like people like that.
Yeah, you'll like Nee.
I see all
Nee
the time,
walked up and he did not drink. He was not a drinker. Still not much of a drinker. You remember? No. I think you were there for that when there was a tequila bottle on the table. He's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Tequila. You want some?" He's like, "Yep." Took the bottle and just started drinking it. And I was like, "No, that's not how you do that. That's not how you do that." He put it down. He's like, "That was a mistake, huh?" That was a mistake.
Me is still the only person I've ever seen naturally fall in slow motion. Kevin knows what I'm talking about.
You said fall in slow motion?
Yeah.
Fall in slow motion.
Oh, I fell in slow
It's
motion 2
painless.
Saturdays ago.
It's painless.
Yeah.
He's the only person I know that will.
I mean, it's not a long story, but basically, we were at a kickback. We were drinking. Me, not being much of a drinker, tends to drink too fast.
No, it's 2 beers and it's a wrap. I
Wait,
wish I could drink
But
like that.
he usually guzzles
2 beers? That's it now?
his
Yeah.
drink though.
They're getting old.
So he and I think he might have smoked too. I don't remember, but all I remember is we're kind of in a circle. We're chatting or whatever. He goes over to a bush, and then next thing I know, I just see him start falling.
I can't say much.
And I swear it took like, I don't know, 40 seconds for him to fall to the grass.
It was a long stumble.
That mean that mean he was feeling A-okay.
Yeah,
Did he? I don't even remember how long it took for him to get up. He might have fell asleep for a second.
That's how I know he was straight. He was A-okay.
I've done that. I've been
He
under
wasn't
a
worried
rose
about
bush
nothing.
sleep.
The only story I can say about Nee is he's the only person I know that gets, when he gets buzzed and he starts to freestyle, he gets borderline. A lot of gay quotes. And Keith, Kevin,
Well,
he gets to these points where he'll lines come out and you be like, wait a minute, nigga, like back it up.
But the menage a trois in the house, I never let him do that.
Menage a trois in Oz, yeah. When he said that, I said, whoa, nigga.
Wait, he said what?
Menage a trois in Oz.
Menage a trois in Oz. I said,
it does happen in Oz. It does happen in Oz.
But he's the only person I know when he gets a little buzz and he starts freestyling. It gets borderline. Like, hey,
that's
back
my
up.
man. I think he finally stopped knocking down people with women or with men, like where he's just like, he's with some chick. He's like, I left my ID in her car, cuz. I was like, I know your address.
Nah,
man,
that's crazy.
Oh, what are
we gotta have him guest star.
Yeah, that would be good. Are we good on time? I don't know where we're at.
47 minutes.
I don't know if you guys want to do that. That next one was tough too. Did you want to talk about the kid? Because that goes on what we were talking about.
The
Michigan?
Colorado?
I thought it was Michigan.
Was it Michigan? Yeah, Michigan.
Yeah, it was Detroit.
Yeah, we can talk about it briefly. You know,
Yeah.
it's sad.
It was like but it's almost like the little kid picture they put up.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, they instead of posting his mugshot, they post a picture of him when he was 10. I said, if this ain't the privileged shit, I said, this is us. Come on now.
And I say, it's the effect that we're the only, for people of color, where as soon as something happens, they're trying to find us in the worst light they could possibly find us in to make it look like.
And he was like scouting or scolding in his mug. Like you can tell, like he was like, yeah, I did that shit. Like
well, what was it? He shot 9 students, killed 4.
Yeah, I think 4. I think 2 or 3 are still wounded. Did anybody see the video where he was impersonating an officer to try to get in the classroom?
That's the only video I saw, and I'm happy that's the only video I saw. Because those kids, good on those kids, though.
Shouts out to that teacher. Was like, yeah, we're not taking that risk. And I said, yeah.
Now that's the scary part to me, is I literally have a page saved to buy for the kids. There's this thing called I don't want to say the name because I don't want to do brand placement, but it's basically like a plate that goes in their backpack that is bulletproof. Like that's how far we are, and that's what terrifies me. And like the fact that this kid's parents have now been tried or charged with involuntary manslaughter.
They're fugitives. They're on the run.
Yeah. It's really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can't find them.
That's
They
what
can't find them.
terrifies me.
They
That
can't
is
find
what I
them.
was scared of happening. Is like, did they encourage him to be like, you need to stand up for yourself? Because he bought the gun, what, 4 days before the shooting?
How did he buy the gun? He was only a teenager.
So the dad bought the gun for him,
Oh,
like
oh
four
yeah.
days before the shooting. And they said he was making posts on the internet. Where I'm like, did the dad know something? Like, this is terrifying. Like, if we
I,
go that far that a
that's too
parent
much.
would tell another kid, tell a kid to shoot other people's kids.
Yeah,
I don't want to say that's what it could be. I hope that's not, I hope I'm way off base. But the
that's
fact that they're tried is a little scary.
I just want to say, I just want to say prayers to all the families who lost a soul
Yes.
because for
Yes.
this mindless actions. Um, Prayers to all the kids that's going to deal with the PTSD, to their teachers that may deal with the PTSD. Um, there's no way to get these people back, and it's mindless, bro. There's no reason. Um, we don't want to say that we're there yet, but it's almost to the point now where um, we you might have to just start screening everybody as they come into school grounds. There have to be some type. We have to come up with some type of solution because there's no way um, stuff like this should be happening. This is supposed to be somewhere where the children should feel safe, and this is not something that they need to be dealing with. Like this should not. It's sad, and I know as fathers, like that's not something that I know I speak for myself. There's nothing I would never like that just to hear, like even even just to hear that hey there's an active shooter, like now you're constantly immediately put in a state of like tremendous worry, and even after like the after effects of that has to be great, like that has to be like very very draining mentally, and it's like how do you there's really no way to prepare your child for that because we can't say okay we can't just send all the kids to school with guns, like okay defend yourself, we can't do that, you know what I'm saying? So how do we prevent this? But I am happy, like you said, Kevin, I am happy that they are holding the parents accountable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
deserve to be.
yeah.
This
Thoughts,
is a
gentlemen?
very serious episode.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Real quick, uh, on this subject, which is odd, um, I just realized it's been 6 years since that shooting at the Inland Regional Center in San Bernardino. And
What
the
the
only
end
reason
of
why I
the
bring that up
yeah.
is because I literally worked down the street from that center. And
Oh, yeah.
as soon as you said active shooter, it all
Yeah,
came
things
back to me because I, uh, it's crazy. So most people, when they hear about this stuff, yes, you feel sad, or at least you should. But at the same time, somewhere in the back of your mind, you might not know you're thinking it up front, but usually it's okay, well, that's happening over there, wherever
Yeah.
over there is. But as soon as it happens near you or to you, you appreciate isn't the word, but it finally cements just how one, how crazy the world has become, and two, how close to home it could be at any time.
Yeah.
And that sucks. Not just for adults, but for children too, because obviously events like that seem to it slowed down. There was definitely a period where it seemed like there was a school shooting a couple of times a year. Um,
People
but
weren't in
it's
school for a year. That's why it
right,
slowed down.
true. Um, but it's just man, we live in a scary world right now.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even just well, it's a scary world, but especially here in the United States, it's different. That's what I'll say. It's different.
We're, I don't know. We're too, like, I like guns. I like guns. I do. But there's people who believe it's a God-given right to have a gun. And that's insane to me. How is something that's man-made God-given? You sound dumb. Period.
There's nothing wrong with guns. Guns are tools. They have to
Yeah, they're
be
not.
used properly.
But it's not a
Any ordinary
God-given
tool.
right to have a gun. Like, I think you
No.
sound like a fool when you say that. The
No.
God-given right to have this gun. No, your God-given right is to exist and be kind to others and
Yeah.
move on this earth together. Like, what are you talking about? The planet
I
is your
said
God-given right.
there's no reason for anyone to own a flamethrower or a grenade launcher.
Hey, I don't even care. If you want a flamethrower, I should know exactly where you live, everything about your background.
Right.
You have this flamethrower. I don't need to know how often you go outside and just shoot your flamethrower. Cool. Go have fun. Go in your backyard, shoot your flamethrower. But we know you have this flamethrower. Or you can't have this flamethrower because you're a little off. I'm sorry. We can't let you have this flamethrower. We'll give you this Bic, but like
I do
Might not even give you that.
I do believe that some type of psychological testing should be involved.
It's a
But then
tool
again,
that kills people easily.
But then again, they would just use that as a way to exclude certain people from owning.
True.
Well,
That's true.
again, I say deep, very deep episode. I think it's if you're listening and watching, we say we appreciate you liking, subscribing, commenting, etc. I do think it's important for us to have these conversations. And if there's any comments or things you want to talk about in the comment section, feel free to comment, and we can have the conversation.
Yeah, we are coming live soon too. This would be fun to talk to. Well, not
December-
fun. That's the wrong word to use.
Yeah.
Is it
But you know what I
December
mean.
17th?
Interesting.
Yeah.
December 17th. I just want to look at the
17th.
calendar to
Yeah, December
verify.
17th, I believe.
December 17th. Yes, we will be live.
So, with that being said, I am Stutter McFly. Episode is this 24?
24.
It's old Kobe. What up?
Yeah.
With
Hold on,
with these
before
three.
before you sign off, Mr. Wendell, is there a nickname?
Slinky Link.
Wait, Slinky? Like everyone has a Slinky? Link?
Yeah, I'm Slinky Link. What's up?
No.
I guess that's no.
No.
Ain't nobody
Slinky
but the-
Link.
I can't make eye contact with you, brother.
Right.
Slinky Link.
I can't. I will never call another. No, I'm not even gonna say it because I won't call a grown man that.
Wait,
That's
hold on.
not
Does
it
that
though.
does that
I'm
does,
glad
does
I'm
that
not
does
live
that
on
mean you
camera
does
right
that
now.
mean does that mean you meet up with two at the same time?
No,
See, all right.
I'm not trying to think about it.
I just
But
Slinky
again, I am Stutter McFly with these three guys.
Link. Kevin Wendell.
It's me.
I
It's
thought
your
it
boy
was
Mo
Slinky
Lethal.
Link.
Your boy Mo Lethal.
Keep 40 from the metaverse.
Meta.
And
Shouts out.
until next time, much love and be safe out there and love each other, man.
Peace.
But I'm still not looking at Kevin.